So the rebels have won in Syria, but now, let's zoom out a bit and look at the other big winner, that is Turkey there. President Erdogan has claimed a major victory. For years he's been backing the Syrian rebels, and now that they've succeeded, he stands to gain.
Our wish as Turkey is for our neighbor, Syria, to attain the peace and tranquility it has been longing for 13 years.
Erdogan made that speech on Saturday as Damascus was falling and Assad was fleeing. Erdogan was addressing a crowd in the city of Gazbits near the border with Syria. It is home to hundreds of thousands of Syrian refugees. Erdogan was clearly pandering to the crowd, and they probably did not mind, because Assad's fall was a victory for both these parties, the Syrian refugees and the Turkish president. Throughout the civil war, Turkey opposed Assad's regime. It was reportedly personal. Erdogan and Assad used to be friends. They even went on a family holiday together once, but things turned sour in 2011 when the Syrian Civil War began. Reports say that Erdogan made a personal appeal to Bashar Al-Assad to go easy on the rebels, but Assad ignored him and unleashed a bloody crackdown. Erdogan is said to have taken this personally. He was furious that his supposed friend would shun his advice, thus so he began to publicly oppose the Syrian regime and started supporting rebel groups, most notably a group called the Syrian National Army that controls vast swathes of northern Syria. They were part of the latest offensive, the one that brought Assad down. They fought alongside the HTS, the al-Sham. Now the HTS is a designated terrorist group in Turkey, so Ankara could not support them overtly, but they did support them with air and supplies. Look at the HTS stronghold. It's the region of Idlib and Idlib borders Turkey. So by keeping these supply lines open, Erdogan gave them SID support, and now their victory is his victory.
The Damascus regime never realized the value of the hand Turkey ended. It did not understand what it meant.
You heard what he said. Assad never valued the hand Turkey extended. That happened last year. Erdogan reached out to Assad. It was a pivotal point in the war. Assad could have negotiated with Ankara, perhaps cut off the rebel supply lines, but he did not respond to Iran overs. Perhaps that was the beginning of his downfall. Reports say the rebels then reached out to Ankara. They showed Turkey their plans and asked for a free hand, and it seems Turkey agreed, and the results are there for the world to see.
We will continue our work to ensure the voluntary and safe return of Syrians, and for the reconstruction of the country. Turkey, which gave a hand to its Syrian brothers in their difficult days, will also be with them in the new chapter that opened in Damascus.
Cut through the diplomatic jargon. What do you hear? Point number 1. Syrian refugees are going to leave Turkey. It is already happening. In fact, Syrian refugees started gathering at border checkpoints last night. They want to go home, and this will be a massive relief for Erdogan. His country's economy is not doing well. The refugees were seen as an added burden, so their departure will relieve some of the pressure. Point number 2. Ankara will help with reconstruction, which means big money for the Turkish construction industry. Incidentally, Erdogan has ties to the construction sector, so he might just make a pretty penny during the reconstruction activities. And finally, point number 3. Turkey plans to, and I'm quoting, to Turkey plans to be with the Syrians during this new chapter. Basically, they want to have a say in what happens in Damascus. Considering their long-term support, this is entirely possible, and this is Erdogan's prize. He is the winner. Now let's turn to the losers. Apart from Assad, obviously, there are two big ones, two big losers, Russia and Iran. We'll start with Russia. Putin came to Assad's aid in 2015 at the height of the Syrian Civil War. He rescued the regime. Russia has military bases in Syria. For years they conducted air strikes on the rebels, but this time, Moscow could not muster enough forces. It was busy fighting Ukraine. Its forces were stretched the most that Russia could do was offer asylum, so Assad and his family have fled to Russia. Moscow says it does not betray its friends. But it has accepted the regime change. This was the Syrian embassy in Russia in Moscow. They were raising Syria's new flag, the opposition flag. Even Assad's new home understands that his reign is over. And what about the Russian bases in Syria? What happens to them? Moscow does not know yet. The Kremlin spokesperson said it was premature to talk about them. The Russian forces there are reportedly taking precautions in case they're attacked. The world sees this as has a Russian loss, at the very least a major loss of face. In fact, look at this post from Donald Trump. The next U.S. President Trump says, and I'm quoting, "They lost all interest in Syria because of Ukraine. We're close to 600,000 Russian soldiers lay wounded or dead. Russia and Iran are in a weakened state right now, one because of Ukraine and a bad economy, the other because of Israel and its fighting success." Yes, that brings me to the next big loser. Iran has lost a major ally in the region. They supported Assad's regime with a network of proxies in West Asia, proxies like the Lebanon-based Hezbollah. These were Assad's elite boots on the ground, the troops who pushed the rebels back. But Hezbollah has been severely weakened due to the war with Israel. They could not help Assad this time around, neither could other IR proxies. Thanks for watching this video.